It's 4:30 on WKYT this morning. A Lexington man is changing his name to run for governor. We'll tell you his reasoning why. Coming up next, it may surprise you.
The Cats are gearing up to take on Wisconsin. The keys to the games, plus what preps are being made here in the Bluegrass.
And today is a first alert severe weather day as we are tracking rounds of heavy rain and the potential for more severe weather as we head through the next several hours. I'll take a closer look at all of it.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning to you. Welcome in. We thought it'd be a spring day, but here we are. Rainy part of spring. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Rebecca Smith. We're pretty waterlogged this morning. I saw some people getting stuck in high water.
It's tough. And travel on the interstate this morning, you might hydroplane. Be very careful if you're out there. Let's check in with meteorologist Jim Caldwell right now in our first alert severe weather day in our weather center.
And that's something you're going to have to watch for as we head through the day. And right now, especially the ponding of water on roadways, because it's still dark outside, so you could run up on some water. We even had a member of our staff that ran up on some water. It was a little bit deep out there this morning, so please take it easy. And if you know an area that is prone to get some high water, watch out in those areas. Defender is lit up, and I'm talking about from lightning and rounds of heavy rain and all of the thunderstorms that we are tracking out there across the entire area. Here across central Kentucky, we've picked up just since midnight, we've picked up roughly 1 inch of rain. You factor in what we had yesterday, and we're better than 2 inches in some cases out there. The same thing now happening for you folks down there across Madison County. There you see Richmond, lightning also now extending all the way over into Estill County, and active flood warnings are also showing up just out to our west. We'll show you those in a moment, but we've got another wave that rolls through. How about another wave that comes after that? All of this will be traveling toward us as we progress through the day today. Then we'll start throwing in the severe weather dynamic again. That will come during the probably afternoon and evening hours at its peak, but there could be some isolated stuff before then. Active flood warnings, you're going to notice, are lined up all the way back toward Louisville along or just north of Interstate 64. That's been a primary zone of heavy rain so far this morning. The flood warning that we're tracking right there is for the folks across Anderson, Franklin, Shelby, Spencer, Woodford County. That runs until 5:45, and I'd say they'll have even more rain to deal with here over the next few hours. We'll track all of this, a little bit more, coming up for you in a little bit, guys.
And we'll see you shortly. We thank you. And parts of the state are dealing with severe weather this morning, as Jim has been telling us.
Yeah, that rain is really coming down. We can hear it at the studio on the rooftop. Now, Clark and Montgomery counties got heavy rains, wind, and hail. The wind actually ripped several panels off of buildings. The city of Paris has also been hit by storms. Some homes have suffered damage overnight. And as the line of storms have gone over I-64, drivers have been hit hard as well.
The storm was really bad. The skies was real dark. The heavy rain, it came down so hard that we had to pull over. I mean, our windshield wipers, I mean, they wasn't even fast enough for it. I mean, they was coming down so hard that we had to pull over and just, pretty much let it pass because there was no point of even trying.
Now, the thunderstorm also knocked out power to parts of Montgomery County. At one point, 1,000 homes there were without power. We'll have the latest details on storm damage and any outages that may happen this morning as soon as we get them. Well, today is the day horse racing fans have been circling on their calendars for months. Keeneland Spring Meet is planned to start today. Despite the rainy forecast, track officials say they're prepared for whatever happens. They still expect a big crowd this weekend for the meet. They estimate about 15,000 people will come into town for the race.
No different than any typical spring or fall in Kentucky. We're prepared for anything. Racing will still go on, and as long as everybody's safe and having a good time, that's all that matters to us. We have a critical incident plan that we keep in place and we update on a very regular basis, and we train all of our employees to that to make sure that patrons are safe.
Gates open at Keeneland at 11 o'clock this morning. Don't forget, you can always track severe weather even when you're away from your TV on WKYT.com. You can take control of an interactive First Alert Defender and zoom into your neighborhood. It's obviously lit up right about now. You can also download the WKYT First Alert Defender Radar app for your iPad or smartphone. Just search for WKYT in your app store.
Now, coming up on 4:35, and with only 2 games between the Cats and a national championship, the excitement in Kentucky and in Indianapolis is building.
Yeah, Cats and Badgers getting excited as well. Kentucky coach John Calipari says the big challenge from Wisconsin is Frank Kaminsky. The Cats did a good job isolating him last year, but they say he is still a force to be reckoned with.
We know how good he is. I just saw him out in the hallway, and I said, look, I'm so tired of looking at your tape right now.
Kentucky and Wisconsin will tip off tomorrow night. That will be on TBS, estimated to be around 8:49 or 8:50 tomorrow evening. Thousands of Big Blue fans will make their way up to Lucas Oil Stadium in Indy over the weekend. Security preparations are underway to make sure that everyone stays safe during the Final Four. And to try to keep everybody safe, security preparations have been underway for several weeks now. Police tell us surveillance cameras will be set up around the arena for both crowds and the weather, which could be an issue. The game again tips off around 8:50 or so on Saturday evening.
Well, back here in Lexington, UK officials already preparing for the post-game celebrations, of course, tomorrow night. They've created the hashtag banner behavior to encourage students to be respectful and safe. They want the Big Blue Nation to, quote, exhibit behavior worthy of the banners hanging from the rafters at Rupp Arena.
In other news now, the search continues for a Montgomery County woman who has been missing for more than 2 weeks. Police say 28-year-old Audrey Blackburn was last seen on March 17th. Her parents say she went for a walk and never came back. Earlier this week, a friend of the family offered up a $1,000 reward for information leading to Blackburn's safe return. Her family is asking anyone with any information to come forward.
So, where other people have someone missing and you think, it must be rough, but you just don't know till you go through it.
Police say Blackburn was last seen wearing a pink hoodie, gray corduroy pants, and brown shoes, and also had a rainbow scarf.
A man convicted of raping a child was back in court after being on the run for more than a year. Douglas McBride did not show up to his sentencing hearing in Virginia a year and a half ago. Police arrested him at a home on Pasadena Drive in Lexington Wednesday. He was arraigned in Fayette County Circuit Court yesterday. His preliminary hearing is scheduled for next week. Well, the man accused of killing his girlfriend pleaded not guilty. Paris Charles was arraigned yesterday afternoon. He's charged with murder in the death of Goldie Massey. Pieces of Massey's body were found in 2 counties this fall, shortly after she'd been reported missing. Charles said he was innocent of the charges. He requested a status hearing for next month.
President Obama visited Kentucky yesterday. The president's main stop was a tour of a tech company in Louisville. It's the president's first trip to the Commonwealth since 2011. At a news conference, he spoke about job training programs. The president's trip was delayed because of the Iran nuclear deal. During his speech, he said the United States cannot afford tax cuts for the wealthy while cutting job training for young people.
There are a lot of different pathways that we create so that more and more people can get trained in the jobs of the future. And we're not restricting ourselves to one narrow path. And we're making sure that everybody has opportunity and everybody has a shot.
Many of Kentucky's top Democrats were not in Louisville for the president's visit. Kentucky Republicans have a theme of trying to connect their Democratic opponents to Obama's policies. Well, he was an iconic political figure in Kentucky. Gatewood Galbraith ran for Kentucky governor 5 times, and he lost every time. But now a Pulaski County man is trying to honor Galbraith's legacy. Terrell Newman legally changed his name to Gatewood Galbraith and then filed to run for governor as an independent. WKYT's Monique Blair sat down with Newman to talk about his name change.
My name now is legally Gatewood Galbraith, parenthesis, Newman, close parenthesis.
This man, whose name was Terrell Wayne Newman up until Tuesday, says he was looking at the upcoming election candidates and thought something or someone was missing.
Got the insane idea of taking his name legally and running a very small campaign.
Newman legally changed his name on Tuesday so that the name Gatewood Galbraith could be on November's ballot as a candidate for governor. Newman says the whole purpose is to honor the late Galbraith, a man known for his stance on legalizing marijuana.
I'm not looking at winning, but I do hope to spark the interest that Gatewood generated, not I.
I think a lot of the outcry has been, oh, he's trying to confuse people at the ballot to win. It doesn't sound like that's what he's trying to do, and so I'm willing to take his word for it.
Drew Curtis, who is currently the only other independent running for Kentucky governor, says he welcomes any non-politician who chooses to run against him, and that he's not threatened by Newman's tactic of changing his name.
Somebody suggested that if that actually succeeds, I should change my name to John Calipari next year and run for the Senate.
Newman, who says he has ran twice for mayor in Lexington, says he will go back to his original birth name after the election. In Lexington, Monique Blair, WKYT.
Independent candidates have to have 5,000 signatures from registered voters by August 11th to get their names on the general ballot. Well, it'll be interesting anyway, right?
Still kind of scratching my head on that one, but okay.
I think that's what he kind of wants you to do. All right, WKYT this morning is just getting started. It's your Friday, rolling toward the weekend, opening day at Keeneland.
Are you looking for a yummy Easter treat that kids will love? Yes, Mom's Everyday shares a cookie recipe that's as delicious as it is adorable. Coming up, speaking of, Jim?
And right now, Rebecca, we're tracking more heavy rain, a new flash flood warning that just went out for southern parts of Fayette County and numerous other counties as we're tracking that heavy rain threat. We'll take a closer look coming up for you.